welcome back to my channel. So this isn't a particularly new concept, but it's something that's been talked about more recently, specifically on TikTok and Twitter as well, but mainly TikTok. And I think that that's because there's a certain demographic of nepotism baby that's become more prevalent recently, which is the Gen Z / very young millennial nepotism baby. People that are around our age or maybe a few years older, and they seem so cool and aesthetic, and maybe they act just like your friend while looking like the Pinterest board you've been trying to look like for years. It's like they have it all together, but they look so normal doing it. And hey, one of them just got a breakout role in one of the biggest shows in America right now. That is so good for her. And you know what? I've actually been kind of thinking about getting into acting, and since she seems so relatable and so me, she kind of inspires me to want to try. So maybe I'll give a quick Google search on her, maybe see if she has like a YouTube channel or an interview out there where she talks about how she got into the scene. Oh, her mom is a famous actress and her dad's a famous producer, director, and screenwriter? Well, I'm sure that has nothing to do with it. That's not shade to Maud Apatow, girl, I love you, but I did have you in mind when I wrote that. Today, I'm going to be diving into the nepotism baby, defining them, giving examples, and talking about Gen Z / TikTok's obsession with them. Firstly, defining the nepotism baby. Nepotism baby is a term the internet uses to describe a celebrity that, no offense, only has a career due to nepotism. Nepotism being defined as the practice of those with power and influence of favoring relatives or friends, especially by giving them jobs. Nepotism is not a new concept at all. It's probably been around since like the beginning of civilization, even if it didn't have that name back then. The concept of like, oh hey, my mom works there, let me just push and see if she can get you an interview. That's like not a new thing. But nepotism has been talked about more in the past decade-ish, but especially with these last few years and especially with celebrities. I think the reason for this is just the growth of the internet, and pairing with that is the desire that the average person has with knowing the personal details of celebrity lives. Because now, if someone wants to know something about a celebrity, their whole life story is just a few keystrokes away, and it's very easy to find out, oh, they only have a career because their rich dad had a rich friend that works in film production or at a talent agency. And I think that this recent fascination that the internet has with the specific group of nepotism babies that I'm going to be focused on is because of age and looks, but I am going to be going more into that after I give the examples of those specific group of nepotism babies. Hey, just checking in, wanted to scare the people that only put my videos on in the background without actually watching the screen. Are you paying attention now? Okay, good, because while I have your attention, I want to tell you about today's sponsor, Xyro. Xyro is a website builder that lets anyone create amazing websites and launch professional online stores with no coding or web design skills required. Maybe you have a knack for something and want to start a new business adventure. Maybe you're trying to be a niche internet micro-celebrity and you just want to have a blog in a space that screams you. Or maybe you're none of those things and you just want to play around with fonts and layouts and stuff. Well, Xyro is your tool to accomplish any of those things, or whatever else you can think of. So now you might be a bit more interested, but maybe you're like, I don't know, Grayson, sell me some more. Why Xyro out of all of the website builders out there? Well, first of all, Xyro is the most affordable option on the market, and it's about to get more affordable when I give you my little discount code in a second. It's also super easy to use. They have like starter templates you can pick from and customize, or if you just want to have like full built from the ground up, you can do that too. And on top of it being fast and easy for you, the maker, it's also fast and easy for people that view your website. Xyro websites load like really fast. You can make a personal website or a business website to sell your products like I previously mentioned. And if you ever need help, Xyro has a 24/7 customer support team, and if for some reason with all of that you're not satisfied, they do have a 30-day money-back guarantee. Use code Grayson, that's GRAYSON, for an exclusive discount plus a few months for free. So go, start building cool websites and show me them. I want to see them when you're done. We'll wait till after you finish watching this video to go build the website because we're not done here, okay? And speaking of, let's get back to it. I'm going to be going over the most popular examples rather than like every single younger Nepo baby, because honestly, majority of people in Hollywood at this point have benefited from nepotism in some way. So if I were to like dig around and find every single person, we'd be here for a while. Firstly, we have Maya Hawke, and I put her first because I'm going to make the very bold claim that Maya Hawke contributed to this fascination and growth of the discussion we have around nepotism babies, because I specifically remember after season 3 of Stranger Things came out, TikTok and Twitter were like kind of in shambles a little after they figured out who her parents were. And that's probably my first memory of this discussion of the nepotism baby online, even though at the time it was less of like a, oh, she's a nepotism baby, and more of like a, oh my god, can you believe that those are her parents? So Maya Hawke is a 23-year-old actress, mostly known for her role as Robin in season 3 of Stranger Things, but she's also been in other things like a movie called Mainstream, which kind of flew under the radar, ironically, because of the name, but it had Andrew Garfield in it. The movie itself is like fine. Andrew Garfield is really good in it, but that's just because he like gives 110 for every role he's in. And before anyone asks, no, actually, Andrew Garfield is not a Nepo baby. Maya was also in Fear Street, that like trilogy that Netflix did a few months ago. I think she's only in the first one. I didn't watch those, sorry. Anyways, fans of Stranger Things were obsessed with Maya's character Robin because hello, LGBTQ community. But imagine the fans' surprise when they figured out that Maya Hawke is the offspring of Uma Thurman and Ethan Hawke. If you don't know who either of them are, firstly, cap. Secondly, they're both very well-known actors. Uma Thurman was in Pulp Fiction and Kill Bill and that really bad Batman movie from 1997. If y'all can find that, it's called Batman and Robin. Please God, watch it. It's so bad, but like it's like funny how bad it is. She's been in a bunch of other She's Uma fucking Thurman, okay? Ethan Hawke has also been in a ton of things. The only things I've seen him in are The Purge and Sinister, and I only liked one of those movies. I'll let you guess which one it is. But he is from Austin, Texas, so thanks for the rep, King. So yeah, Maya Hawke, daughter of incredibly well-known actors, is now an actress. I'm sure that's a coincidence. Next up, we have Lily Rose Depp. Lily is one of the most popular nepotism babies. A lot of people associate her with a particular coquette slash Pinterest slash Lana Del Rey Chanel girl aesthetic that's been gaining popularity the past few years. Lily Rose Depp is a 22-year-old actress and model. She's more well known as a model, I'd say though. Lily got her start in acting with a small role in the 2014 film Tusk, that like A24 film of the mad scientist that like surgically turns a guy into a walrus against his will. It was fucked up. And since then, she's gone on to be in The King, Voyagers, and other movies. She got her start in modeling in 2015 when she was announced as a Chanel model and has been an ambassador for the brand ever since. And since then, she's done tons of other modeling work, and she has been signed to the Creative Artists Agency, which is a LA-based talent agency. And it's a pretty big one, I think. So she's acting, she's modeling, she's a multi-talented girl, and we love that. I wonder how she got into that. Oh, that movie Tusk I mentioned earlier? What I didn't mention is that someone else we know is in that movie. Lily's dad, Johnny Depp. And I'm sure the fact that her mom, French singer, actress, and model Vanessa Paradis, who was also the face of Chanel in the 90s, had absolutely nothing to do with Lily's breakthrough in the modeling industry. I feel like now's a good time to add this side note in. I'm gonna be speaking sarcastically at points throughout this video, but this isn't like a diss on Nepo babies. Like, I don't hate Lily Rose Depp. She's beautiful and she does have talent. I'm just pointing out the fact that her mom being who she is probably helped people overlook the fact that Lily is 5'3". No hate to short queens, it's just not the standard in modeling, especially the level of modeling that Lily is at. Anyway, next up we have Maud and Iris Apatow. That is right, we have our first 2-for-1. There are several. Maud Apatow is a 24-year-old actress, most well known for her role as Lexi Howard in Euphoria, but she's also been recognized for her roles in Assassination Nation and The King of Staten Island. Iris Apatow is a 19-year-old Instagrammer. She did a few movies as a child, but she's not really currently acting from what I could find, or like doing much other than being like a social media Pinterest girly. Not a diss, if I could I would too, shit. So you might be wondering how 2 girls like that got into stardom. You know, actually, you're probably not, because at this point we know it's rich famous parents. Their mom is Leslie Mann. She's been in a bunch of shit. I'm just gonna put her face on the screen instead of like listing off movies she's been in, because she's been in a bunch of shit, and if you see her, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, it's her from that one movie. And their dad is Judd Apatow. He's a pretty big writer, director, and producer, and he's also done stand-up in the past. He was the director of the movies This Is 40, Knocked Up, and Funny People, which Maud and Iris just so happen to have roles in, and he also directed King of Staten Island, which, as previously mentioned, Maud was in. And I'm just gonna quick fire these last ones, because at this point I think y'all get it. Bella and Gigi Hadid, both supermodels, both daughters of former supermodel Yolanda Hadid. Clairo, an indie pop slash bed pop musician, is the daughter of Jacques Cottrell, who I don't think he has a title. He's literally just like a rich business guy. He's currently the chief marketing officer for Topgolf, but he's also held really high positions at companies like Coca-Cola, Starbucks, and Converse. Jaden and Willow Smith, both musicians and both children to Jada Pinkett and Will Smith. Kendall Jenner, model, part of the Kar-Jenners. That one's self-explanatory. So those are the younger, newer Nepo babies that have Twitter and Pinterest in a chokehold. Now let's get into why they have that chokehold. Why do people care about them so much? A lot of these newer nepotism babies are in their 20s, give or take, and as I touched on earlier, they just seem so like us, and that's because they kind of are. They grew up going through the same fashion cycles as us, watching the same TV shows as us. Some even went through the same specific phase that a lot of people did, like, you know, the Tumblr phase or the 2016 dip brow phase. That closeness in age gives them almost an unintentional and automatic relatability. You see them and you think that if you had them in a class in school, maybe you would have been friends.
Just a side note, so nobody is like misinterpreting what I'm saying. The relatability thing doesn't count for like every single nepotism baby. I don't think a lot of people, if anyone, looks at someone like Kendall Jenner and thinks that she's like relatable or at all in touch. It is more towards like the Maud Apatow, Lily Rose Depp kind of figures. Just throwing that out there so nobody yells at me.
But the key difference is that yeah, we understand the same internet references and are close enough in age to have been in high school at the same time, but they come from a family that has the power and money to hand them, quite literally hand them, a career as one of the most recognized models in the world. We're so similar, but because of your parents or your uncle or your godmother, we will never be the same. And it's fascinating. It's like watching the version of you that you always had in your head, you know, that little daydream that you go to when you're bored of the life you'd live as a supermodel or a famous singer. But the conversation around Nepo babies isn't always positive. Nepo baby as a term traditionally has a negative connotation and is typically associated with the idea of not having talent. Whether or not you think they have talent is up to both the Nepo baby in question and personal opinion. I don't think it's fair to say that benefiting from nepotism immediately makes you talentless, but I also know that there was probably a lesser known name that was in the running for some runway or movie that was overlooked to favor the child of a B-list celebrity. Which leads me to the point of it being really unfair to people that are incredibly talented and work really hard to try and get their start in Hollywood just to lose that opportunity because the director wanted to get their son out of his house for a few weeks. And this contributes to the issue that Hollywood has had for a while of the never-ending cycle of nepotism. Sure, you could give this no name that seems like a good fit for the role a chance, or you could just trust your friend Debbie Reynolds when she tells you that her daughter Carrie Fisher would be best for the role. And then a few decades later, when you're choosing between two people to play Chanel No. 3 in the show Scream Queens, you ask your friend Carrie Fisher for advice and she says, well, actually, my daughter Billie Lourd has been thinking of getting into acting. And then in a few more decades, if/when Billie has children, they will never struggle to find a job in whatever field they choose. Obviously, that isn't shade to any of those women or to say that that's the exact scenario that went down. It's just an example of how nepotism is generational, and the more it continues, the harder it is for people that don't benefit from nepotism to be given a chance. To wind it down and conclude this video, nepotism isn't a good thing. But that doesn't mean that these newer nepotism babies are bad people. Some of them really are talented, and it's even better when they're able to recognize their privilege rather than act like they had to work as hard as the average person to land a job. I don't know, they're celebrities, and at the end of the day, people either love celebrities or love to hate them, but nobody can look away from them. So this newer era of pretty young guys and gals being the current fascination of younger people online honestly makes sense. And that was the Nepotism Baby Takeover. That was really fun, so I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, like the video. If you liked the video, comment on the video. And if you liked the video, subscribe to the video maker, which is me. And I will see you soon, either on this channel or my second one, which is, you'll find it, okay? Thank you. Bye.